What does a bird and this pen have in common? You would think nothing. There isn't anything they would have in common, but you'd be wrong. Welcome to Treble Woofer Pens, and today we explore the Parker Duofold Sr. Before the 1920s, fountain pens were stubbornly made black in appearance. This was partly due to the fact that hard rubber and bakelite were the primary materials used in manufacturing pen bodies, as plastic didn't exist yet. Black was also a professional look, and fountain pens were seen more and more as status symbols for the wealthy and educated. The standard would be radically changed during the Christmas season of 1921 when Parker unveiled the Duofold lineup of pens. These pens were an annoyingly bright orange red hard rubber, which overshadowed nearly every pen on the market. This was a huge risk on Parker's end, as this new model borrowed heavily on its own previous model, the Jackknife Safety. From Richard Binder, quote, "Unlike the Jackknife Safety, which could be fitted with a manifold nib but was more usually sold with a flexible nib or an ordinarily firm one, the Duofold would be offered with only a manifold nib." The pens catered to the upper class as well, clocking in at $7 per pen, which would be around $100 in the year 2019 currently. The risk paid off for Parker, as it was a massive success for the Christmas shopping season of 1921. It actually ended up becoming so successful that several imitation pens began sprinkling into the pen market, such as Eclipse, John Holland, Morrison, Diamond Point, among many others. This pen itself is the senior model, the men's pen if you will. Parker also included the Duofold Jr. and the Lady Duofold in the lineup. This pen dates from 1926 to 28, as later models featured a double band cap design as opposed to this earlier single band. I would classify this pen to be in excellent condition, fully working. This is filled via a button filler. When the button is pressed, it expands a pressure bar which pushes against an ink sac to fill the pen. Now, the body itself is this rather simple cylindrical shape, which was a common and affordable design nearly all pen manufacturers adhered to. The top of the cap can be unscrewed in order to remove or replace the clip. This also makes it quite easy to clean the cap as well. The nib is this massive Parker Lucky Curve manifold nib, which in this case has an metallic cut. The feed is the Christmas tree design, a popular feed in the Parker pen lineup. But my favorite part about the pen has got to be the grip section. It's simple yet girthy and comfortable. The large nib complements the large pen body, and I cannot imagine this pen being as satisfying to use with a smaller nib. I think Parker definitely hit a home run on this. Let me know in the comments, do you think Parker hit a home run with this pen as well? Now, the pen is nice enough to use unposted, yet it becomes an absolute monster when posted. Probably not the words Parker had in mind when designing the pen. On their ads, Parker pretentiously claimed that the Duofold, quote, "rivals the beauty of the Scarlet Tanager." I mean, I suppose, but this isn't anything new because maybe Todd's named their pen models after birds such as the swan, the swallow, and the blackbird. Anyway, let's move on to writing performance. I have 3 types of paper. I have a Staples 20-pound copy paper. We have some Rhodia and Clairefontaine. I'm going to go ahead and start on the copy paper, and as we see, the ink I'm using is a Diamine Ancient Copper, actually a new ink for me. Overall, the writing is decent, not too smooth, however very manageable. There is a hint of feathering, but not enough to distort the writing. With these squiggles, we can see where that line variation shines in the italic nib. Unsurprisingly, there is no flex in the nib since it is a manifold nib after all. Moving on to the Rhodia, I'm noticing the pen writes a bit drier. This might be because the paper isn't absorbing the ink as much as the fibrous copy paper is. Now, this is normal for French papers, as it instead prevents bleed through and feathering, and instead creates a smooth writing experience. And finally, moving on to the Clairefontaine, seems almost identical to the Rhodia paper, except the lines seem to be a skosh wetter. Still a very smooth writing experience. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. If you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and drop an anvil on the like button. And while you're at it, tip your hat to the subscribe button as well. I'm Treble Woofer, and remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I'll see you guys all later.